Welcome back to Good Morning KAKELand with Allison Ackland, Shane Ewing, and meteorologist Frank Waugh with your Cake First Alert forecast. Cake News on your side.
Hey, welcome back in, everyone, to Good Morning KAKELand on this Wednesday morning. It is 9:32 as we get caught up in some headlines today. Embattled Sedgwick County Commissioner Michael O'Donnell goes before a federal judge today.
Yeah, his first appearance is set for 1:30 this afternoon. O'Donnell is accused of bank fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering, and if convicted, he could spend up to 70 years in prison and pay back nearly $2 million in fines. Despite calls to step down from other county commissioners, O'Donnell is still working, and today's county commissioner meeting is still on schedule. He's accused, though, of writing checks to himself or friends from his campaign funds. He's also accused of filing false reports to the Kansas Governmental Ethics Commission to cover up those alleged spending practices. O'Donnell's attorney says they're still waiting on the government's evidence in the indictment to be revealed.
Right now, we don't know much about what the evidence is that the government has, but we do know that what the charges are.
And since 2011, O'Donnell has served on the Wichita City Council, in the state Senate, and now as a Sedgwick County Commissioner. And you can stay with Cake News for continuing coverage with regular updates today at cake.com. Again, that initial hearing today at 1:30.
Well, the Kansas Department for Children and Families fires 2 staff members and is investigating work performance in the department. Administrative staff have been in Wichita for the past 4 weeks to help review open child abuse and neglect cases. The new director says that she sees concerning trends in the Wichita region that need to be addressed.
And it's been 2 weeks since a local police officer and his son died in a motorcycle crash, and now the county is looking closer at the intersection where that crash happened. Cake's Jacqueline Chappell explains with what leaders are doing about it.
Louise Wolf has lived near this deadly intersection for nearly her whole life.
It seems like the cars are really speeding more. Everybody seems to be more of in a hurry.
And that's why the county is now conducting a traffic study at the intersection, located in western Sedgwick County at 167th Street West and 21st Street North.
What they take a look at is speeds, if people run the stop sign, if people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing that are a violation of traffic laws.
When the study is done, the county could use the data to determine ways to make it safer.
I mean, I have wanted a long time for there to be a signal light there, or even maybe a roundabout.
The sheriff says since 2014, a total of 18 accidents have been reported here. 9 involved injuries, and 2 of them were fatal. The most recent involved an off-duty Wichita police officer. Officer Stacy Woodson and his son were both killed while riding a motorcycle through the intersection. And a year and a half earlier, 38-year-old Justin Epley was also killed at the intersection.
Every one of them is a tragedy when someone dies, but I can look at some other intersections in the county that have a lot worse numbers than that.
Wolf says the accidents here have caused her to be more careful. She hopes other drivers will do the same until the county makes some much-needed changes.
That is Jacqueline Chappell reporting. The traffic study should be completed in the next few weeks. And once again, he is following his yellow brick road to a possible baking masterpiece today.
Frank has been whisked away in Wizard of Waugh, where he gets to do wild and crazy activities every week. This week, he's getting ready for graduation. He's joining us live now in East Wichita at Dillons Frank. How's the cake decorating going?
Hey, it is going well. Well, better than we started. This is what I started with, and I got it all smoothed out on top. And this is book number 2. I'm going to hand the microphone off to Randy. He said I can just plop it down on that cake however I want. Right now, though, you said this is the busiest time of year for you guys. If somebody wants a cake, tell me, can people still get it, whether it's for Mother's Day or for graduation?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you hold this, and I'm gonna put this on here. All right.
Yeah, they absolutely can. Just give us a call or come in. Normally, we just say within 24 hours time frame. We can definitely make it work. So if you have any cakes you want to get your mom this weekend for Mother's Day, cupcakes, or have a special graduating that you need to get placed, just call us and let us know, and we'll get that taken care of.
All right, so what is the next step on here to make this thing look like that? Where are we going?
Okay, so we're going to just add a border. We're going to kind of clean up the sides. We're just going to pipe a border around just to finish off the book. And then after we do that, we're going to get to just finessing some of the curls and design, and then we're going to have you write on it.
All right, show me how to pipe this border around here. Can we start that?
Yes.
Do we need one of these here?
We do. So we'll need one of those.
All right, what are we talking about? What is this thing called? A piping?
Just one of those little guys.
Oh, rings.
Yes.
All right.
So, actually,
for the uneducated like me, what is this thing we're using here?
So this is just a coupler.
Okay.
Yep, that's all it's called, is a coupler. So, and we're just going to take this, and I have some of the binding on the sides of the book, so we're going to do that first, and we'll finish off the edges last. So, super simple. I mean, just like the edges of a book, just go right on down and take it to the bottom of the board. So
it's easy enough.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let me give this thing a shot here.
All right, so yeah, just on that side, wherever you want.
How much binding does this book need?
As much as it's, I think it can't be opened, so as much as you want. Perfect.
All right, so are we going to do the yellow one as well?
Same thing.
All right, so we're going to do the yellow one as well. Uh-oh, that one's not as pretty. Randy tells me, though, that with icing, anything can be fixed, right?
Yes, anything can be fixed.
Other than the fact I'm about to shoot this icing out the other end of this thing here. Let's see here.
Hey, Frank, I have a question for you, as I'm totally amazed by your skills. But what kind of cake is this? What flavor of the cake is it?
I don't even know what flavor of cake this is. What is it, Randy?
It's marble.
Marble cake. There you go. With lots of frosting on it, I can tell you that. All right, so what's the next step after this?
Okay, so all we're going to do is I think we're going to start adding some of the little design elements around here.
All right, so this is going to require a steady hand.
I think you got this.
You think
I think you got it.
All right, we're going to start doing that during this next break here. We're going to go ahead and go to weather here, get weather out of the way. We're going to do some of that, and then we're going to come back and kind of see the finished product here. All right, let's go ahead and get you to weather. As far as weather goes today, man, we are looking at a beautiful, beautiful day. Temperature's very similar to yesterday, but it's going to look nicer. More sunshine and less wind. There's the view outside, 72 degrees right now. Wichita, that dew point coming up. Humidity going to be on the rise. 70 Salina, 64 in Garden City. Low to mid 60s, Goodland and Colby. A bit cooler there in northwest Kansas. Temperature-wise today, highs right around 90. We'll do 88 Salina, 90 Dodge City, 86 Goodland and Colby. Tons of sun. Again, wind today not as high as it's been. Tonight, stray shower thunderstorm not out of the question. 50s and 60s by tomorrow morning. Here's a look at KAKELand, our weather model here. Notice the spotty nature of these thunderstorms tonight. Here we are at 11 o'clock. A few people getting it and a lot of folks getting missed. If it gets to Wichita, that's a big if it gets to Wichita, after probably 1 or 2 a.m. by tomorrow morning, maybe a few stragglers left. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for Wichita. High temperature today, right around 90. A bit cooler tomorrow. Rain showers exit early. We're dry Friday, Saturday. Shower storm possibility Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Sunday, Mother's Day, don't forget that. Salina, Hayes, Great Bend, Russell, a few more chances of rain, but not overly high. Better bet Sunday, Monday time frame. Take you to southwest Kansas and into northwest Kansas. Similar situation there. Rain chances for southwest Kansas ramping up Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Colby, Goodland, Norton, Hill City off and on rain chances as well. Cooler weather, though, this weekend. Come on back in here, Randy. Randy is going to a big competition coming up in June. This is kind of a big deal. You get to represent Wichita. You're self-taught. Only 3 people. What did you have to do to get into this competition?
It's portfolio submission to get in. So every year they have quite a few. I think this year they said they had around like 2,000 or so people from around the country. It's basically just a generalized portfolio of some of your work for the year, and they basically dig through everybody's, find out whose is the best or most intriguing, and those 3 are selected, and then they basically just send you out a packet or booklet telling you that you've been accepted in.
All right, so what are my chances?
I think you got a pretty
You think I got a good shot of getting in? All right, 3 people in the U.S. All right, we're going to do a little more detailed work here coming back up. I don't know. What do you think, guys?
I think it's beautiful. And
How's
go,
it looking
Randy.
so far?
You have a pro teaching you, so that's cool.
I do have a pro teaching me. I like that. He's giving me all kinds of tips here. So we'll see what it looks like here coming up at the end of the show.
All right, thanks, Frank. We will check back in later, and you guys stay with us here on Good Morning KAKELand. All right, welcome back. You know, as parents, a lot of folks will know the last thing that they want is to worry about their kids when they're at school.
Unfortunately, that's the new reality. There have been nearly 300 school shootings in America over the last 5 years. As Kate Step-Ferris finds out, it's created a sense of fear for some Andover students.
Cooper Anderson, Mackenzie Martine, Sailor Middleton, Sydney Sagehorn, and Keenan Randolph all vow to do whatever it takes to prevent a school shooter from terrorizing their halls.
Now it's our time. This is happening to our friends, our families, our fellow students. And it's time for us to act.
It's these scenes from across the country, students with their hands in the air, running from what's supposed to be a safe place.
It was truly heartbreaking because you could realize that could happen anywhere.
My world froze because it was then you start playing okay, well, what would happen if it would happen in Andover district area?
Oh my God! Since the first of the year, there have been 20 school shootings in the U.S. where someone has been hurt or killed. Parkland, Florida was the most recent.
You realize that Parkland is a lot like Andover, and a lot of these kids were a lot like me.
We sat down with these Andover students to talk about the shootings and safety.
That's really all you can think about for the next couple days, and you start to wonder yourself if you feel safe.
Now I walk into the school and I think, what's the nearest exit? Or I have a plan I go through.
Students here in Andover, along with many across the country, not only practice fire and tornado drills, they now do what's called a lockdown drill. That's when someone comes up across the loudspeaker and announces there's an intruder in the school.
We go to the wall that the door is on and get in the far corner and hide ourselves from the window. Lights are off, doors locked.
The deadly 2012 shooting at an elementary school in Sandy Hook prompted the Andover schools to adopt the run, hide, fight strategy.
It empowers the adults in those crisis situations to make the decisions that make sense for their students.
Andover Superintendent Brett White believes there is a time to run, but he says the best plan is to hide inside a classroom. And if a gunman were to get into the room, as a last resort, school leaders teach the kids to fight with desks, scissors, and books.
It's a sign of the times. It's the world we live in, so it's really incumbent upon us to do everything possible to keep students and staff safe.
How's it going, fellas?
Andover also beefed up security along with installing security cameras. It's also hired more school resource officers, or SROs. Officer Heath Kinzel works at Andover High.
Believing that it could happen here is what motivates me every day to try to be the sharpest that I can be.
He mingles with all the students looking for signs of trouble.
When they are somehow communicating to us or others that, okay, there's no other option, that is the scariest red flag.
These kids meet regularly with their superintendent and law enforcement. They believe it's time they step up and do something.
Most people just expect young kids to lie down and let the adults talk about stuff or let the adults worry about stuff, but now it's our time.
Do they want metal detectors? No. What about arming teachers?
If my science teacher, if I see they have a pistol like that would terrify me.
Let them worry about their job, which is educating the younger generations, and let the police worry about what they worry about, keeping the peace and ensuring justice.
What they really want is help for students who teeter on the edge of committing a horrific crime.
If you were to have a larger staff of counselors, and specifically counselors that are solely dedicated to the mental health of the student body, then there would be less of a stigma around going to the counselor's office.
Last month, Kansas lawmakers approved a pilot program to team up schools with community mental health centers to treat some of the state's most at-risk kids. But that's for next year. These students wonder if it will be in time.
All right, welcome back. A Wisconsin man finally has something he's wanted for decades.
And he received his high school diploma. Jeff Alexander explains why it took so long for the 83-year-old to finally graduate.
Norman Knuth grew up on the land he still lives on today, a fourth-generation family farm near Maribel. His earliest childhood memories, chores around the farm.
This was one exactly like my dad had. Those days we didn't have silo unloaders and barn cleaners, so a lot of handwork, and my dad needed some help, so I'd stay home and help him, and Well, finally, I didn't go back to school. I just quit.
Halfway through his junior year, Norman's school days were over. After continuing to help his parents, he served 6 years in the Army Reserves and then came home, eventually taking over the farm. But as the years passed, regret over not finishing high school grew inside Norman.
Well, there's always something in the back of my mind. I wished I hadn't quit. And, you know, they have like high school class reunions and things like that. And those I couldn't attend, but then they started, you had an over 50 group where anybody that went to Denmark could go. So I could go to those reunions, but I just always felt I didn't belong.
It would be said, it would be talked about. I knew that it bothered him.
Which is why Norman insisted his 3 children and any young person who worked for him appreciated school.
You should get all the education you can. It's so important in your life because you have your plans, what your life is, what you're going to do, but the Lord's got different plans for you sometimes.
Without Norman knowing, his daughter Sherry recently approached the Denmark School Board and shared her father's story. This past Sunday, in cap and gown, Norman received his diploma. The class of '52 has a new member.
I was very happy for him because I knew that it meant a lot.
The Denmark School District School Board, Mr. Niels or Mr. Klaboff, they were part of it, you know, so I'm glad they did it for me.
Well, the International Man of Mystery may head back to the big screen.
Yeah, Mike Myers teased last night a 4th film could be in the works for the spy comedy franchise. He was on the red carpet last night at the Los Angeles premiere of his new noir thriller, Terminal. And when asked about it, Myers says a new Austin Powers is, quote, a very strong maybe. We'll take that instead of a, yeah, baby, yeah.
All right, Frank, let's see the final product.
All right, I feel like I'm on one of those cake war shows, like I gotta do it fast. Look at that. Ooh. There is the final product. I want to give a big shout out to Randy out here for helping me out. This is limited edition, folks. I'm not sure. Oh, we gotta put the cap on there.
The cap. Can someone come and
I can
buy
do that part. I'm pretty good at that part.
We can finish it off with some glitter.
Oh, you can't have enough glitter on this cake. Look at that. Hey, big thanks to Dillons for having us out here. This was a lot of fun. I like it. Thanks, Randy.
Hey, thank you.
For breaking news and your most accurate local forecast, Cake News is on air, online, and on your mobile. Cake News on your side.